My fiancé and her parents mocked my late mother during our rehearsal dinner, right in front of everyone. So without hesitation, I stood up and called the whole wedding off. I'm 33, and until just recently, I was engaged to Lydia, a woman I truly believed I'd grow old with. We met 6 years ago at a cookout through some mutual friends. She had this bright smile, was always quick with a joke, and we clicked instantly. Proposing to her last year felt like the easiest decision in the world. It wasn't just about her, though. I was also stepping into her family. Her parents, Jack and Donna, always had to be the center of attention. Loud, opinionated, and full of unsolicited remarks. At first, I chalked it up to just being their way, but the deeper I got in, the more I saw how entitled they were. But before I get to what happened, I need to talk about my mom. Her name was Patricia. She was everything. To me. She passed 2 years ago after fighting cancer for 3 exhausting years. Even when she was sick, she was helping people. She taught me how to be kind, to give without expecting anything back, to speak up when something's not right. She wasn't just my anchor, she was someone others leaned on too. She had this quiet way of stepping in and doing what needed to be done, including for Lydia's family. Jack and Donna owe her more than they'll ever admit, but you'd never guess that based on how they treat her memory now. When Lydia first met my mom, everything seemed okay. Mom liked her. She told me so. And Lydia seemed polite enough. But once things got more serious, I noticed Lydia wasn't really vibing with her. She never caused drama, but I'd hear things like, "Your mom's a little too involved," or "She's trying too hard." It felt off. But I brushed it aside thinking she just needed time. What I didn't ignore was how much my mom did for Lydia's family. Their restaurant was about to go under a few years ago. No one would help. No bank, no investor. My mom co-signed their loan. She believed in them when no one else did, and she helped get their books in order, sat with them for hours to lay out a path forward. They kept the business alive thanks to her. When their oven broke down and they couldn't afford a new one, my mom wrote a check. Never asked for repayment. Not even when she was battling cancer and could have used that money for herself. She just wanted them to be okay. And Lydia's brother Ryan, he couldn't finish college because of tuition costs. My mom stepped in again, paid it off, said, "No one can ever take your education away from you." She gave her time, her money, her energy. Babysat Ryan's kids, helped with everything, and they never once truly thanked her. Sure, they said thanks in passing, but real appreciation? Never. My mom didn't care. She wasn't doing it for praise. She just wanted to help people quietly. That's who she was. When she passed, I was shattered. It felt like the ground disappeared beneath me. Lydia was there, technically. She did the surface-level support, brought food, said the usual lines. But the way she spoke, it didn't feel like love. More like checking off a box. She'd say stuff like, "Your mom wouldn't want you stuck in grief," or, "You need to move on." Maybe she meant well, but it felt cold. As we got closer to the wedding, the red flags really started popping up. Every time I brought up wanting to include my mom in the ceremony somehow, even just a small mention, Lydia would shut it down. Said things like, "Weddings should be happy, not depressing." I bit my tongue because I didn't want to turn it into a fight, but these moments kept stacking up. Jack and Donna weren't any better. They had a habit of making me feel small. Jack once said Lydia was upgrading by marrying me. Donna would smile and say, "Well, we all make sacrifices. For love," like Lydia was doing me a favor. I let it go, again and again, thinking once we were married, things would calm down. God, I wish I'd spoken up sooner. About a month before the wedding, things spiraled. Jack and Donna decided to host the rehearsal dinner at this upscale spot. They knew. I thought it was a nice gesture. Maybe they were trying to show up for us for once. Donna wouldn't stop talking about how perfect the night would be. "It's going to be the talk of the town," she kept saying. Jack wouldn't shut up about how amazing the restaurant was, how lucky we were they got us a reservation. It started to feel less like a gift and more like a performance. But I was so focused on just getting through the wedding, I didn't argue. Let them plan it. Big mistake. As the date got closer, they got even more smug. Every time I brought up a detail, guest list, menu, anything, I got brushed off. Donna literally rolled her eyes once and said, "We'll handle it, Michael. Just show up." Like it wasn't my damn wedding, too. The menu, oh man. Donna went on and on about how they'd curated some elevated experience. Her favorite, "Ein." Nothing like what you're used to back home. Always had to get that jab in, reminding me I wasn't from money, that I didn't come from some high-class background. And yet it was my mother, the one they looked down on, who kept their family business afloat. I never forgot the way they treated me, like I wasn't one of them. I came from a small working-class town, and they made sure to remind me of it, every chance they got. Still, I tried to shake it off and stay focused on what mattered. I kept telling myself, it's just one night. Smile, nod, and survive it. But Lydia started acting strange too. She always leaned toward her parents' opinions, but lately she took it to a whole new level. Any time I brought up a concern, she'd say, "Michael, you're overthinking. My parents have it handled." It wasn't just about the dinner. It was how they made me feel completely out of place in a relationship that was supposed to be mine, too. They treated me like I should be thankful Lydia even chose me. And Lydia? She never defended me. If anything, she encouraged it. She'd laugh along or ignore me when I tried to speak up. Then a week before the dinner, a moment hit me hard. We were at her parents' house finalizing wedding stuff. Donna was running the show, flipping through seating charts like she was planning a royal wedding. I suggested a simpler centerpiece, something that reminded me of my mom. Donna didn't even glance up. She just said, "Patricia had interesting taste, didn't she? But this is Lydia's day. Let's keep it modern." I froze. That subtle jab cut deep. Lydia didn't say a word. Just sat there scrolling on her phone like it meant nothing. I wanted to say something, call it out, but I kept quiet. I thought I was avoiding drama. Truth is, I was just swallowing pain. It was like every little comment was building into a wall I couldn't climb over. But I told myself it would be okay once the wedding was behind us. That was a lie I held on to until the night of the rehearsal dinner. From the second we got in, the car, I felt the energy shift. Lydia barely looked up from her phone. I tried to lighten the mood, asked if she was excited. She just shrugged. "It's just a dinner, Michael. Don't stress." When we got to the restaurant, Jack and Donna were already playing host. Jack stood at the door shaking hands like it was a gala. Donna was barking orders to the staff. The whole place looked like a palace. Chandeliers, white tablecloths, polished everything. It screamed money and status. And it screamed, "You don't belong here." As guests poured in, I realized almost no one from my side had shown up. My dad, my sister, a couple of close friends. That was it. The rest were Lydia's relatives and her parents' business friends. It felt more like a networking event than anything to do with love. I pulled Lydia aside and asked, "Why are there barely any people from my family here?" She sighed and said, "Michael, your family's small. My parents had to fill the room somehow. It's not a big deal." Not a big deal. That's all she ever said. Like none of it mattered. I tried to keep calm, went back to mingling. But deep down, I knew this wasn't about us anymore. This was about Jack and Donna's ego. Then came the speeches, and that's when everything fell apart. Jack stepped up first, grabbed the mic like he was at a business conference. "Tonight we celebrate two families, our Lydia and, of course, Michael. He said my name like it tasted sour. Then he went on to talk about how amazing Lydia was. She's always been the star, always known what she wanted, and now she's marrying someone to keep her grounded. He smirked. People chuckled. I didn't. I just sat there, stunned. Then he added, "We always taught Lydia to aim high, and while Michael might not be what we envisioned," and stopped. Let it hang there, like a joke. I could feel my sister fuming across the table. Next was Donna. She strutted up like she was winning an award. Started off fine. Then the jabs started. Lydia's taught Michael so much already. It's a good thing she's patient. I nearly choked. Taught me? What? How to sit in silence while her parents insult me. Then she looked straight at me and said, "We're so happy to have you in the family, Michael. It'll be nice to finally have someone who doesn't mind getting his hands dirty." Laughter. From her family. I turned to Lydia. Nothing. She was smiling, enjoying it. And just when I thought it couldn't get lower, Jack came back up. He clinked his glass. Before we close, I want to acknowledge someone no longer with us, Michael's mom, Patricia. My heart dropped. I thought, finally, something kind. But no. He said, "She had a habit of inserting herself, didn't she? Always had an opinion." Donna chimed in, laughing. "Oh, remember how she always insisted on helping us, even when we didn't ask?" I couldn't breathe. They were talking about my mom like she was a nosy neighbor, not the woman who saved their business. Then Jack added, "She helped us a lot, sometimes too much, if I'm honest." And winked, like it was some punchline. Then he said, "Let's just hope Michael doesn't get her need to take charge. We wouldn't want him meddling too much." And that was it. That was the moment. My fists were clenched. My heart was pounding. I turned to Lydia, praying she'd say something. Anything. But she just kept smiling. That's when I knew. I couldn't do this, say anything at all to shut them down. But instead she just laughed and said, "Oh, Dad, stop." Like it was some silly little moment. Like mocking my dead mom in front of a room full of people was just harmless. Fun. Harmless. Fun. That's what they called it. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. What cut even deeper was the smug look on both Jack and Donna's faces, like they genuinely believed they were being charming. Like this was some great moment of comedy and not a total slap in the face. But when I glanced around the room, it was obvious most people weren't laughing. They were frozen, uncomfortable, pretending their utensils needed attention. Jack finally sat back down, and the clinking of forks and glasses slowly started again. Like, the sound was trying to bury the awkwardness. Lydia leaned in and casually whispered, "Are you okay?" Like she was asking if I needed a refill, not acknowledging that her parents just dragged my mom through the mud. I didn't answer. I just nodded stiffly while my jaw clenched so tight, it hurt. But then Donna strolled over to our table with this fake sugary tone and said, "Michael, I hope you didn't take offense. Jack and I were just trying to add a little humor. It's all in good fun." That's when something inside me cracked. I couldn't stay quiet anymore. I stood up. My chair screeched across the floor. Conversations died. Eyes locked onto me, and I didn't care. The chair tilted behind me, still slightly askew from how fast I stood. The room was quiet enough to hear a pin drop. I looked Donna straight in the eye, my voice low but shaking. "Are you serious right now?" She blinked, stunned, probably didn't think I had it in me. Jack put down his drink and gave me this smug, annoyed look like I was being dramatic. Lydia whispered, "Michael, stop," trying to calm me down, but I didn't even turn toward her. "Let me get this straight," I said louder, the heat in my chest rising. "You spent the whole night mocking my mom, The woman who helped your family survive. And now you want to call it a joke? Jack leaned back, arms crossed like I was a child throwing a tantrum. Relax, Michael, he said, grinning. You're overreacting. It's just a little fun. My hands were shaking now. Good fun? I shot back. You called her meddling, said she was too much, laughed at everything she ever did for you like it was some punchline. How is that fun? A few of Lydia's cousins looked away. My dad looked like he wanted to stand up and throw a punch. My sister? She had her arms folded, glaring daggers at Donna. But Donna just waved her hand like I was being silly. Oh, Michael, don't be so sensitive. Everyone knows Patricia liked to take charge. I stared at her in disbelief. Take charge, I repeated, my voice louder now. She saved your family, she saved your damn restaurant, paid for your oven, helped cover your son's tuition, babysat his kids, redid your entire bookkeeping. She gave without asking for anything back, not even when she was sick. And this is how you repay her? Jack sat up straighter now, his smile gone. That's enough, he said sharply, trying to regain control. We didn't mean harm. But if this is how you handle stress, maybe you're not ready for marriage. That sentence hit like a punch. The level of disrespect was staggering. Lydia grabbed at my arm, panicking now. Michael, can we just step outside and talk? I yanked my arm free. No, Lydia, not until they understand what they did. Donna rolled her eyes and sighed loudly, like she was the victim. Michael, this is supposed to be a happy occasion. You're ruining it for everyone. I couldn't. Hold it in. I'm ruining it? My voice cracked. You ruined it the second you decided to humiliate my mom, and Lydia, you let them. You sat there laughing with them. Lydia's face flushed red. I didn't know they were going to say that. But you laughed, I shot back. You laughed at every single word, and when I needed you to speak up, you stayed silent. The whispers started building, people shifting in their seats, murmurs. I felt every single eye on me, but I didn't care. This wasn't about a scene. This was about my mom. Jack stood, clearly done with me. If you're that offended, maybe you should leave, he snapped, motioning to the door. And for a second, I thought about it, just walking out, leaving. Them all in their perfect little bubble. But then I looked over. My dad, my sister, my friends, people who came to support me. They were watching, waiting. I couldn't let this moment go. Not without saying the truth. No, I said, voice calm but firm. I'm not leaving, not until you understand what you've done. Jack opened his mouth, but I cut him off. You act like my mom was some controlling busybody, but without her, your restaurant wouldn't exist. You wouldn't have made it. And she didn't help you because she wanted to thank you. She did it because she loved people, because she believed in you. And now you're turning her into a joke for your little dinner party? I looked around the room. That's not just disrespectful. It's disgusting. Everything went silent again. Even Jack didn't seem to know what to say. Donna's mouth opened, but she didn't speak. Lydia was just staring at the table like the wood grain suddenly got real interesting. Jack finally muttered, We didn't mean it like that. It doesn't matter how you meant it, I said, my voice steady. What matters is what you said, and how it felt. You don't get to rewrite who my mom was just because she makes you feel small. She deserved better. And so do I. I stepped back from the table, grabbed my coat. You want me gone? Fine, but don't expect me to come back. My dad stood immediately, walking toward me without a word. My sister grabbed her purse and shot a death glare at Donna. A couple of my close friends followed, quietly but with conviction. Lydia called after me. Michael, wait! But I didn't stop. I walked out of that restaurant with my head high, even though my chest was pounding. Outside, my dad put his hand on my shoulder and said, You did the right thing. Your mom would be proud." I nodded, but the only thing I felt was hollow, angry, betrayed. And that's when it hit me. If Lydia couldn't defend me or the woman who raised me, maybe she never really knew who I was. And the more I thought about it, the more I knew this couldn't be the end of it. If I let them control the story, they'd turn me into the villain. No, this wasn't over. Not yet. Deep breath, and told me she just wanted to return some of my things. She'd asked to use the bathroom while I was grabbing the box of stuff I'd set aside for her. She must have seen it then, maybe even opened it. Maybe that's when she took the locket. At first, I didn't want to believe it. I wanted to think there was some other explanation. That I'd misplaced it. That maybe I was remembering wrong. But I wasn't. That locket had been in that exact box for years. I knew where it was. I always kept it tucked beneath a folded piece of tissue paper, with a note from my mom. And now it was gone. My hands were shaking as I sat there, staring at the empty spot where it used to be. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but I also couldn't shake the feeling that Lydia had taken it. Maybe to hurt me. Maybe to hold on to something of mine. Or maybe she never understood what it meant in the first place. Either way, it was gone. And that was the final crack in whatever little hope I had left. A few hours later, I texted her. I kept it simple. "Did you take the locket from my mom's box?" There was no response. Not that night, not the next morning, nothing. 2 days later, I got a message. "I didn't think you'd miss it. I'm sorry." That's all it said. No explanation, no apology that meant anything. Just a weak, careless line that felt like a punch to the gut. She didn't think I'd miss it? The one thing in that box that mattered more than anything else. Something with decades of meaning, passed down through generations, and she took it like it was just another trinket. That message confirmed everything I didn't want to admit. That Lydia wasn't sorry for what she did. She was just sorry she got caught. And that locket? It was never hers to take. I didn't respond. I couldn't. What could I even say? Nothing would make her understand. And I wasn't about to waste another ounce of my time trying to teach her respect, empathy, or basic human decency. That was the last message I ever got from her. And honestly, I'm glad. Because sometimes closure isn't a conversation. It's a boundary. It's making a decision to cut the cord and walk away for good. I thought about calling her parents, about demanding they return it. But I realized that would only drag me back into a cycle I was finally free from. My mom wouldn't have wanted that. She wouldn't have wanted me to chase a piece of jewelry. She'd want me to remember what it stood for. So I let it go. Not because it didn't matter, but because I mattered more. That night, I sat alone on the couch, the box on my lap, empty space where the locket had once been. And for the first time since everything blew up, I didn't feel lost. I felt steady. I felt clear. I wasn't mourning the end of a relationship. I was honoring the beginning of a new one. One where I finally chose myself. And now, whenever someone asks me what happened, I don't sugarcoat it. I tell them the truth. I tell them I walked away from a woman who couldn't stand up for me, from a family who disrespected the most important person in my life. I tell them I called off my wedding in front of everyone because that was the moment I finally saw it all clearly. That night, I didn't just leave a restaurant. I left behind years of pretending, of compromising my worth, of hoping people would change when they'd already shown me who they were. And I've never looked back. Because when you stand up for what matters, when you choose to protect the memory of someone you love over the comfort of staying silent, something inside you shifts. You stop chasing acceptance. You stop trying to fit into places that were never meant for you. And you start becoming the version of yourself your loved ones would be proud of. My mom didn't raise me to be passive. She raised me to be kind, to be strong, to know my value. That night, I remembered who I was. And even though I lost a fiancé, I found something more important. I found peace. And no matter how painful it was, I'd do it all over again. Because some moments aren't meant to be swallowed. Some lines need to be drawn. And sometimes, walking away is the most powerful thing you'll ever do. She came by to drop off the engagement ring, asked if she could use the bathroom before heading out. At the time, I didn't think twice, but now everything added up. I grabbed my phone and shot her a text. "Did you take the locket from my mom's keepsake box?" A few minutes passed before she replied, "What are you talking about?" I wasn't buying that for a second. I wrote back, "You know exactly what I'm talking about. The locket my mom left me. It's gone, and you're the only person who's been in my apartment lately. Did you take it?" It took her a while to respond, but when she did, her message made my blood boil. "I borrowed it because I wanted to keep a piece of her with me. I thought it would help me feel closer to you." Borrowed. She seriously said she borrowed it. Without asking, without even telling me. The audacity was unbelievable. I called her right away. She picked up sounding all defensive, like she was the one being wronged. "Michael, it's not a big deal," she said. "I was going to give it back." "Not a big deal?" I snapped. "That locket's been in my family for generations. It's not some random piece of jewelry you just take because you feel like it. What the hell were you thinking?" She tried softening her voice, trembling like she wanted me to feel bad for her. "I just wanted to feel close to you. I didn't think you'd notice." "Of course I'd notice," I shouted. "It's my mom's. The fact that you didn't even ask first makes it 100 times worse." She started crying, but I wasn't there to comfort her. "Where is it?" I demanded. Her voice cracked. "It's at my parents' house. I didn't want to lose it, so I left it there." That was it. That was the last straw. "You stole something that doesn't belong to you, something that means more to me than you'll ever understand. And you left it there like it was nothing." "I'm sorry," she whispered. "Sorry doesn't cut it," I said, my voice cold. "I'm coming to get it. Now." An hour later, I was in my car, seething the whole way to Jack and Donna's house. By the time I got there, I was ready to tear the place apart. Donna opened the door with that same fake smile, but it vanished as soon as she saw my face. "Michael," she said cautiously, "what are you doing here?" "I'm here to get my mom's locket," I said bluntly. "Lydia told me it's here." Her expression shifted, first confused, then irritated. "Lydia took a locket? Why would she—" "Just get it," I cut her off. She narrowed her eyes but stepped back and let me in. A few minutes later, Lydia came down the stairs holding the locket. Her eyes were red and puffy, and she looked like she hadn't slept, but I didn't care. All I saw was the locket dangling from her hand like it was meaningless. "Here," she said quietly, holding it out. I snatched it from her fingers and checked it. Same one, same details. I stuffed it in my pocket, turned toward the door. "Michael, wait," she said behind me, voice breaking. "I didn't mean to upset you. I was just trying to—" "Save it," I said, spinning around. "You stole from me, Lydia, from my mom, like everything else. You've done wasn't enough already?" Her face crumpled. She started crying harder. But I didn't stop. I walked right out and slammed the door behind me. In the days that followed, I blocked her number, deleted her messages, and erased every single way she could reach me. I was done. Done with her. Done with her family. Done with all the drama they brought into my life. Calling off the wedding had been one of the hardest things I've ever done. But this was the closure I didn't know I needed, because it wasn't just about a ring or a rehearsal dinner or even a locket. It was about dignity. It was about standing up for myself, for my mom, and for everything she taught me to believe in. And when I finally put all that behind me, I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Peace. Real, deep, soul-level peace. Like I could finally breathe again. Like I could finally live again.